A little less than 50 years ago or so, down a long, dusty road, somewhere in the heartland of Missouri, is a farmhouse. And in this farmhouse is my father, whom after a long, hard day work out in the field, lie peacefully and stretching himself out on our avocado green shag carpet, watching TV on Monday nights. And I myself am a preschooler, perched behind him on the armrests of our orange crushed velour couch, watching him. And I say to myself, if I want to know who this strong, silent man is that I call Daddy, I'm gonna have to figure out what this game called football is all about. Because I deeply wanted him to gaze at me the same way that he gazed at this game. Did you know that according to the CDC, adults in the US, there's 64% of us that have experienced something called an adverse childhood experience, an ACE. An adverse childhood experience is an experience that fundamentally undermines the child's sense of safety, stability, and bonding. And for me, that came in very subtle and creative ways. You see, my mother, who was married to my father, who was a brilliant engineer and also an alcoholic. Together they had 3 children, very closely spaced together, for which I was the middle child. And one of our favorite activities to do together was to sit on that couch, snuggled with my mother, reading books to us, and we would vie to see who would sit next to her and fight over it. But it was our favorite time, and my mother would read us our favorite stories, and she would not only read, but she would record these books on this antique device called a cassette tape player. And this was wonderful because anytime that I wanted my mother, she was there with just a touch of a button. And I can still remember her sound of her voice saying the word turn each time that I needed to turn the page in the book. Fast forward to when I was a teenager. One of the things that I really struggled with was getting up in the morning. Does anybody relate? I actually still have a hard time getting up in the morning. And so my mother would come in multiple times to have to wake me up. Get up, Helen, come on, it's time to go. School. After several times coming in with me still sleeping, she would come in armed with a squirt bottle and come in and spray me in the face, and I would wake up in a jolt with water all over my face. I'm up, fine. And adrenaline would kick in, and I'm out the door. So these childhood experiences, I would call them creative parenting. But my therapist, she calls them something else. She calls them trauma. You see, I don't understand it all, but these adverse childhood experiences have developed me to becoming a very, very high level of independence in my life. And which may be good, but mine is rooted in the belief that I can't trust anyone but myself. And if I can only trust myself, but I know that I also make mistakes, then it strikes at the very primal sense of safety. And every mistake is catastrophic, and perfectionism is the means to survival. Because I live with this dysregulated nervous system that's continually being faced with fight or flight whenever I'm exposed and vulnerable. I thought that I joined Toastmasters to become a better speaker. I would like to be a public speaker. I thought I needed to practice better articulating my thoughts. And maybe this nervous rash that I have will subside. But what I'm finding is that this is, for me, a healing experience. And you, my fellow Toastmasters, you are my healers. And we are each other's healers. We come to this space, this safe space, each week to grow, practice, stumble, and learn. But you are giving me a power of connection that I have chased since I was a little girl a long time ago in that farmhouse. And that is the true value to me of Toastmasters.